Don't do it, Dave.
All right. I'll use it.
You don't have, you can if you want to.
All right, public hearings. We don't have anything on that. Public communications,
Don't have anything.
nothing there. Approval of the minutes of February 23rd. Whoa,
Make a motion to approve the minutes of February 23rd. Second it.
discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Here, Barbara, we're not hearing you.
Oh,
There you go.
maybe I was just not close enough. Okay,
Very good.
that was an I, yes.
Okay.
Before we go any further, I just want to identify the wetland agency members that are here. So it's Dave Scott, Annie Osternick, Eunice Sutphin, Barbara Williams, and via Zoom, it is Barbara Block and Courtney McCracken. So, okay.
Okay.
It's on the screen.
Oh, what do we have next? 1154 Pequonic Road, Rogers Development.
All right. So let me just get this thing going, okay? I need to share the screen first. Bear with me here.
Run this in case we had technical difficulties.
Absolutely, I've got plans too. Yep. And I want to do going. Go.
Deb says a touch screen too.
I'm so proud of you, Deb.
You turned all the lights out.
Okay, all right, so you can place it here. Oh. Yeah,
Look at that.
That is so cool.
so you want it facing you. in order
Okay,
to be
facing me.
upright- Yeah, in order to be upright on the screen, and then I can zoom in on it.
Whoa.
All right, so let's do this.
You guys might as well look at the screen.
This is high tech.
No, I'm gonna look at the picture.
Wow. Wow. Very cool.
To zoom in more, I'm gonna leave this with you,
Sure.
tight wide,
Oh, okay.
okay? So.
I don't want to screw it up, so I'll just use my fingers. if that works for people.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Locate where this is exactly.
Yeah, of course. So I'll introduce myself first. I'm Seamus Moran, a professional engineer in Connecticut. I work for Raro Engineering Associates. Used to be Susan Bentley down the street building. I'm just familiar with it. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm representing the applicants, Rogers Development, and Jonathan and Jack Rogers. Jack promised me he'd be here to keep me company, but he is not here, unfortunately. So it's just myself tonight. The project, 11 Pequonic, it's located on the north side of Pequonic Road. Do you know where the old massage school for massage
Oh,
therapy?
yeah.
It's that facility.
That's
Yeah.
what you're using?
That's the-
Oh.
so
I thought
that-
some bank was going.
That building is here. That's the existing building here and their parking lot over here.
Oh.
So this we're looking at is the whole, the entire property. It's 11 and a half acres. The orange that you see here is the wetlands. So it's about 5.5 acres of wetlands, 11 and a half acres of upland. A lot of that upland, I guess in the southern section, is developed right now with the existing building and the parking area. The west half of the site is undeveloped with steeper slopes, and the northeast corner is undeveloped. Actually, I'll take a step back 2 seconds here. So this was before the Wetlands Commission, the Zoning Board of Appeals, and Planning and Zoning. I guess they're just zoning at the time, right? Planning, just planning at the time, to actually construct what's there now. So in 2002, a variance was granted for work within the coastal 50-foot coastal resource setback. We'll get to that more on that in a moment. It was also approved for wetlands for this, what was a finger in here to construct this wet crossing, about 800, I think it was 820 square feet of filling of the wetland, and also planning commission for a site plan application and CAM as well. So that was in 2002. That was approved, constructed. Last year, we went before the Planning and Zoning Commission for a special permit and site plan application to convert the existing building from commercial to multifamily. There's no footprint changes, it's just internal modifications to the building. But because we're changing from commercial to residential, the zoning regulations require the special permit. So we had that approved in 2001, a couple months ago. So what you see was constructed in 2002, and the recent modification is to convert this building. So that's how we are. That's how we got to where we are now. I should do now that you can see the whole property, 15.5 acres, is I will show you the existing plan. Detail here. So this here, like we talked about, the existing building is on the left-hand side, which is the west property. Buddington Road is just off this page here. So it's actually, it's two frontages, one on Buddington and Paquonic Road. But you get to the top of this hill on the property, and it's very steep, there's ledge, so they don't really use the frontage along Buddington Road, it's all forested. There is, I mentioned before, this orange line here is the edge of the inland wetland. This here is a little pocket of inland wetland. And I'm calling it inland wetland because we had Jim McManus out here February of 2021 to reflag the edge of the wetlands. And he determined when he was out there that it was a bit of inland vegetation, inland wetland vegetation. So we spoke to Tom about this, and it was previously titled, "Why is it inland now?" We ended up getting contours out here to determine some of the wetland elevation. So within 50 feet of this line, we got some content to the wetland to figure out what the elevations were of the wetland, because the vegetation suggested inland, but we actually had to compare that with the contours below the coastal jurisdiction line is tidal. And there's a gray area, 2.1 and 3.7, that can be inland or tidal. That's the area we were looking for. So really, we were looking for elevation 3.7 because everything above that would be definitely inland. Everything below 2.1 would be definitely tidal. In the middle, it's vegetation. So the 50-foot
It's what vegetation?
tidal vegetation.
Based on.
Based
Yeah,
on.
based on.
Based on. Okay.
Sorry, based on
What did you
tidal.
say? It's based on vegetation. I couldn't.
So yeah, so below elevation
Yep,
2.
gotcha. Yep, I got you.
Okay.
I just.
So there's
couldn't
that
hear.
gray window that we wanted to figure it out. So we figured that out. This 50-foot wetback, 50 feet of the wetland would be within influence of the development, whether it was coastal or whether it was tidal or inland, was all determined to be inland wetlands. So that's why we are not before the ZBA for any of this work, but we are before you, rather than just as before it was an inland wetland for this little section. Now, this whole 50-foot section has been determined to be inland. So we are.
Another
purview.
change.
Right.
Why are we having all these changes? Like, oh,
I'm sure you're familiar with the site. There's an existing parking area, I think, for 90 some spaces.
Annie, you familiar with this? site?
Let's see what my notes say here.
Yeah.
Yeah, 86 vehicles. Some of those were gravel spaces. And part of that ZBA approval was that the 50-foot setback had to be gravel. A lot of the parking lot is paved. That paved parking lot section is captured in a couple of spaces there that is routed to this location closest to wetland 52. And the discharge is a flared end section about 9 feet from the wetland flag. The existing pocket now is currently existing. As you see, the building is existing. There's gas, water, sewer, and I say water, sewer, gas, and electric are all within, and that's the building is connected to those. So that is the existing addition in a nutshell. See here is the proposed development. Proposed, if I'm familiar with there was a two-way curb cut on the east side, in the middle, to push these buildings a little bit to the east. Gets our entrance away from the intersection that's down here to the right. We're going to maintain the one-way exit, and we'll get to more of that in a little bit. But we're proposing two structures, two buildings that are considered one because there's a sort of a patio structure between the two. So it's at the first level, it's all commercial space. Commercial. Floors 2 and 3 will be townhome style construction, residential units. Total of 13 units in these front municipal building, what appears to be two though. The associated parking lot, the access drive, which if you can see, there's a lighter and a darker on the pavement areas. Darker shade area, the existing pavement that's there now. So we tried to maintain substantially as we could the edge of the parking lot. And as it came around here, we had to add a few parking for the entire development for the parking for this facility, for this multifamily, for this mixed use. And to the rear, as you progress to the back of the property, we're proposing 10 two-bedroom townhome style buildings in the back. So those, you can see a match line here. This is, I believe, 7 of them, and there's another 3 as you go to the back.
This isn't the high up part.
Yep, it is the high
It
part.
is.
It's high, yes, it's up here, so we're actually cutting into the grade. So it's going to be an at-grade garage in the front.
Oh,
The first floor will be above that. So there'll be some parking at 10, there'll be drive under parking, one bay per home. And the first floor level will actually be the floor above the garage level. So the back wall of the garage will be essentially a retaining wall. The first floor will be going out onto the at grade behind the buildings.
But you're not going in a ledge that you can see. That's right.
oh, they're
You're
not.
just
Nestling up to it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, so
On
the
the ledge.
garages are
Build it
sort
to
of
the
in
wall.
front of that
There you
ledge.
go. That's
That's
right.
right. Oh. Okay.
Yes.
And how many bedrooms are you?
So each of the units are a 2-bedroom.
Oh, okay, that's why they only need one garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your distance there between this lower corner and your driveway? Right there, yeah.
Let me get my scale.
Boy, they're way high up on top of that ledge. Wonder who is.
Poison ivy.
You don't have your cart.
Engineer without a skill?
I took it out field testing yesterday, and I think I lost it in the woods, so
Oh, dear.
I apologize for that.
So this upper part, how do you access that with the wetlands?
Here's a, it's. Do fit it into the existing development. As you can see here, this edge of the pavement here, this comes around, and almost this concrete pad is kind of our jump here to get to the back. So that's
Yeah.
what we've tried to maintain.
This part here is what I'm-
This up here, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
How do you access it? So this drive will continue. Turn for this, that we don't have all layout because, not because of anything other than oversight. But I thought it would be easier to review these documents. So this, I'll turn it around. So this match line matches here. So you come through here. Once you hit here, you come up here. So this is not,
Really is over there.
yes, this is.
Oh,
right
it's
here.
really over there.
Yes.
Okay, that's what it's confusing.
I know, that's,
Okay.
I had the same issue when I was going through my presentation, I'm like this is myself there. So yes, this is a match line, all of this. So this match line, we take these and move it over. So that's how you access the back. Just, 2 of them set.
What was your
different parts
question
of the
about
property.
scale, Dave? Distance?
Oh, yes.
Your 20 scale. So to the edge of the backside of the wall, it is 7.5 feet, 7 feet.
Hmm. How about this way? Towards the driveway.
Towards in this direction, you're saying? Yeah, so it's, I guess the closest, you're about 7.5 feet there, and as it comes around, is that what you're looking at in this direction?
It's pretty close.
8 feet, 7 and 8 feet. And the reason I should clarify the walls, we tried to maintain the edge of the parking lot here. And the reason the parking lot plus the walkway, but we have to put these retaining walls in for the grading purposes, for stormwater purposes, to get the runoff, to get to the stormwater on this side. Actually have to raise the area a little bit. And rather than filling into the wetlands, we're proposing retaining walls to be able to get stormwater from this point to this point. Where right now,
How about the driveway? Can it be moved over
in which direction? In which direction?
that way?
Which?
To
which
your
driveway?
left.
Which driveway? This driveway?
Yeah.
So this is, so the existing, if you remember, the existing concrete dumpster pad is right here. And this, we tried to angle this so we could skirt by the.
Well,
corner of
that's
this
already
building.
there.
Yeah, the dumpster pad is here, so it's.
Yeah, so we haven't walked this since it's been,
Yeah, we should do
yeah,
that.
we need to
Yeah.
walk it. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, we haven't walked it since it was built out
Yep.
in 2002.
Yeah, so there is, I'll go back to it again. Whoa. See, this is the edge of the pavement we're trying to maintain. We're trying to hook it around here and then concrete down. So we're trying to almost extend that just past here. So if you go back and forth.
That's not a drive.
It's not a driveway.
Correct. But basically that was the best opportunity to get to the back of the property. You have to skirt by the building.
That will be turned into a driveway.
Right. the dumpster pad
Okay.
will be removed.
Removed and
Oh.
asphalt installed.
Oh, drive over it. Why not just leave it?
I think it's. I think
It'll
probably
be too
just
much of
easier.
a Barbara. It'll be too
Oh.
much of a bump.
I also don't know what the grade is of that. We're manipulating a little bit in this area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I thought.
well,
they went
yeah.
from there. So, sorry, so I'm off track. So this site plan for stormwater plan, I'll flip to that next. This is the grading plan. As I mentioned, there's actually two separate underground detention systems, detention or infiltration. The system here is a detention system. We didn't have the depth of groundwater to do an infiltration system, so we had some in this area already here, but what we're doing is installing these detention systems here with iso rows to treat water quality. Those discharge to, all of this is captured and detained in this ground detention system. And we're relocating the outlet to the further east to give us a little separating distance to the wetland, and also to install stone rather than the 9 feet was closest to the wetland 552. To the back corner of property, we're doing an infiltration system. We had some soil testing and we obtained some permeability samples, and those came back very favorable. So this is actually an infiltration system. So we're capturing the runoff from the impervious areas right from usually this point back, and we're running it through this system here. So all new pavement and the new improvements to the back of the property are going through this infiltration system that have 3 separate slips, which are sized for the water quality flow, and then the water quality volume is actually being infiltrated. So there's not going to be any discharge to this operation here below the water quality storm, which is the 1-inch storm.
Now the fill you're showing behind your first building there, this way.
Here,
Now, is that already pavement?
yeah, much of this area is paved drive or gravel parking.
Or grass.
That's right. Not all of it.
And those contours are already there?
These contours are proposed.
So that means you're gonna be adding material there.
Yes, correct.
They're 1-foot contours?
Yes, they're 1-foot contours.
All close to the wetlands.
So the building's in the flood zone. So the building has to be out of the flood zone.
I understand. You understand that we normally go for 50 feet?
That's the yellow line, Dave.
That's yellow is the 100-foot
Yellow line 50 feet.
line.
Ah, okay. I was thinking yellow line was the edge of wetlands.
No, the orange is the edge of the wetlands. The wetlands.
And clarified, in 2002, the regulated area was 50 feet at that time.
That's right.
Yeah.
And also, this wasn't regulated by us in 2002. It was just that little duber.
It was, that's correct.
Yeah.
The small isolated wetland
Yeah.
that used to be connected to the larger one. That's right.
It's all fragmity side.
It
Yeah.
absolutely is.
Just lastly, a couple of last items, utility plan. I think, as I mentioned, we have utilities that we're installing to the buildings. We're running the sewer line behind the building here and out the street. Water line, water and gas will be in the front of the building. This front building will have water and sewer in the front, water connections in the front, and gas and electric in the rear. We worked with utilities for these locations as well.
Where's the front of the townhomes?
This is the front side of the townhouse.
So they face the wetland.
That's correct.
What about the one on the Route 1?
So
Yeah,
these
under your hand, yeah. there.
substantially face the street as well.
Oh,
There is an
okay,
entrance.
they face that way, and the back and the garages are,
So there are no garages for these,
Oh.
for the mix. There's 10 garage spaces for the townhomes to the rear.
so those people just park in the parking lot.
That's correct. And so I say the front of the building is along the street, but access and the front.
Oh, that's
the
because
front
there's
door
sewer,
is
that's
really-
right.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
where are the front, where do the people access the second and third floor? Where's the front of theirs?
From the back of the building. So from the
Oh,
parking
okay,
lot.
so, yeah,
Wait, they're stores?
yeah, the first floor is stores.
On the first floor.
Gotcha.
And they face Route 1, whereas they access the condos from the parking lot in the
Gotcha.
back.
Oh, I didn't realize there were stores. in
This
this.
is-
Yeah, the first floor. is
So
city
there's
commercial.
shared, it's a
On
shared.
the up, that part.
So for the parking calculation, there's a shared parking calculation that 72 spaces are required for the shared parking, or 74 provided. Those parking spaces are between these spaces here, and also there's some spaces here that are connected via a walkway and a crosswalk here. So any of these spaces really can be used by the commercial developments.
Do you also own that piece of property to the right of this?
This one over here. That's a town property, and the owners were hoping to work with the town to try and get some over here. I think we're in a quicker pace than that is going to allow. So something in the future they're looking to consider, but
That used to be a gas
It
station.
did, and
was.
that's the problem, is
Yeah.
that it is contaminated.
Right.
That's right.
The town part is contaminated.
It is, it used to be Nutmeg Farms.
Yep.
maybe?
It used to be,
Still up there.
a 5 acre
Yeah, no
just
comment.
back
No
on the
comment.
town site.
Yeah.
Wow.
1955, like on
Let's keep
1960,
going.
gone.
Okay.
Filled in by I-95,
Oh.
and that's why the contamination.
Contamination was from
Gas station.
Underground tank.
Oh,
Gas
That
station.
were
I
there.
remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
this is the ENS plan, construction entrance, temporary fence, temporary hay bale back silt fence. There's probably 2 temporary sediment traps as well. Diversion swales to get any of this runoff that is collected into these temporary sediment traps. So that's-
What marks the havens?
so this,
Oh, there's
rectangle,
dotted
yeah.
lines.
so that's the down gradient edge of the proposed grading, which you can see the proposed grading is fainter here now.
Yeah.
I assume you did borings on the first building? What's down below? How far down?
For structural
Oh,
design,
it's alluvial soil in there, so
they haven't got the structural design yet of the buildings. They do have some pictures.
I know what's here,
Mm,
but down there, you're in of the rip. That's why I asked.
Interesting. That's good to know. I'm sure as the architect and structural engineer get into it, they're gonna need that information from them. But as of now, they haven't gone to the actual structural design of the building. It's just kind of footprint at this point. Glasses, landscaping plan.
Would have done that before the
What's that?
bore to
Oh,
see
yeah,
what
structural.
it's sitting on.
Yeah. structural engineers, they can figure it out. Don't have to worry about that. This is so there's a landscaping plan that was written in-house landscape architects that I can't really explain, other than there's a lot of it. By things, if you're interested, there's all the species and very substantial plantings throughout the development. The rest of the sheets are construction details.
All right, we should set a site walk. When would you like to go? Nice day.
Oh, sure you do.
Yes,
Wow.
Next week.
Awesome.
Well, let's set it for next week sometime. What day you want to do it? Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday?
Either Tuesday or Thursday.
And Tuesday is good for me.
I am out Monday through Thursday of next week for spring break. So,
Oh, you can have somebody else there.
yeah, we can do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
Barbara, you said Tuesday's no good?
No, that's a good day for me.
How about Thursday, Barbara and Courtney? Thursday afternoon?
I have a
Number-
short
Yep.
window in the afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock, then I have something again at 4. So if we could do it, like 2 o'clock or something.
2 o'clock on Thursday.
That'd be very-
And then
2 o'clock on Thursday?
2 o'clock, yep.
I think so.
We'll meet on,
Not me. It's just actually out next week as well. I'll have somebody meet.
I can.
you can bring your kids.
Okay.
We're gonna be in Florida, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Next Thursday.
Yep.
The main thing is just to get to know, obviously, we're going to see what's out there. but to really get a feel for what they're
Yeah.
proposing. So if they could
Yeah.
mark
So,
some,
I was gonna
in a
say to
way
that
up.
end, can you, I mean, your test pits are all, can you put some stakes in for the edge of grading? At least for the front building and then on the rear buildings.
edge of that new parking lot behind the front buildings too, please.
Yeah, the grading.
The grading, perfect.
And then. I think, and then maybe charge points.
So you were saying around here?
Yeah.
Not used to a fountain pen.
No, this is fun.
Nice and smooth.
I should do calligraphy. Along here.
Yep.
Okay, and then
Stakes in the back, grading, and then the discharge.
Yep.
Yep.
And maybe mark the discharge on that other one too, please.
there is actually a third district, which is this yard drain, which is just collecting runoff behind the building. But we're just getting underneath the pavement and it's discharging in this location. So rather than coming across the parking area, we're collecting it on this backside and discharging it just on the other side.
And it doesn't exist now.
It doesn't exist now.
Yeah, go ahead and do that too, please. Oh, boy.
Leaving that one little patch on the
Give
top
back a pen.
empty
Yes, right now.
until they stick another 2 buildings up there.
Okay, so that is empty right now.
Would that have to be accessed from Buddington Road, that part?
Yes.
Yeah.
The wetland spans the whole property there. Not Buddington Road, I'm sorry. No, it's the filter pond. Filter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh,
By the cemetery, back to the cemetery.
You've been down the filter plant road, Barbara, don't you remember?
yeah.
The reason I asked about the soil is during these rivers were big and they produce an alluvial sand along the sides. That sand is what they're mining up on the town property that they actually sell and they use in the filtration plant.
Oh, yeah.
And that continues on down through. And I know it's not over here, but
Down there.
may get a surprise when you go here, because it could be 30, 40, 50 feet thick.
Oh, oh, interesting. Well, that's something we'll definitely have to start considering immediately then. Thank
It
you.
could cause them a few
Yeah.
gray hairs.
Understood. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for that.
On the other end of the state, many years ago, they built houses on wetlands. Back in the 50s. 2-story houses, and they all went.
Can see that.
All right, thank you. We'll,
Welcome.
you'll have somebody there for us and those places marked out.
Yes, we'll have somebody out here to mark these. I am out, Susan's out, and I will try and get somebody else
Yeah, that's
to
fine.
participate.
I'm
Okay.
out there, so
Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
We'll see you tomorrow,
That's right.
afternoon, right?
That's right.
Right.
Staff review. All right, thanks, everyone.
And, you know, don't be too pain, Florida.
Yeah, I'll try. Hey, sunburn, that could be.
Bad for your.
Be careful out there.
Disney?
My car is 16
No,
years old, so it seems to be fine.
Oh, Palm Beach. Busy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Spring break week.
That's just what Click and Clack said.
Yeah, we were just in Sarasota on Siesta Key in February.
Weather?
I like Florida, but the traffic is beyond belief.
I've never been to Palm Beach, so.
Traffic's worse on the East Coast than the West.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, what's next here?
All right,
Night.
okay. We have anything else, Deb? Nothing else came in. Okay. We have any old business? I just gotta say that it's a good time to go out and cruise around town and look at sites and, you know, see where people are doing things or not doing things. It's a good time to do that. Because there is some water. It's not massive amounts of water right now, but there's quite a bit. So,
You got it.
I don't have anything other than, you know, this, I would have said this is Bruce's last meeting, but Bruce is leaving us. Yeah, he is. He took a job in his hometown, which is much closer than Groton. So
you can walk to it.
yeah, he'll be a planner in East Greenwich, Rhode Island.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah.
So we're on the hunt for somebody else?
We are. So I think I mentioned Diane Glemboski, a planner in our office, retired in February. And we have hired someone to take her place. She was a planner who was already in our office doing community development block grant work. We haven't hired her replacement yet, so I kind of have half of Tabitha. And we have, you know, a job description and out for Bruce's position now. So Tabitha has indicated she's interested in wetland work, so I probably will start introducing you to her as well as the new person, so maybe there will be 3 people who can do wetland work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now in
All right.
planners.
Wow.
Yeah, wow is right.
That's happening all over the place.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second
Second it.
discussion? No? All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye or
Aye.
waving. Aye. Good night.
All right,
Night.
thanks, everybody.